Welcome to the 6th episode of the Honey Pot Podcast for Sweet Conversations, now available on iTunes, SoundCloud, and YouTube. Look for Honey Pot Podcast. I'm your host, Carmen Hendricks, and I took the lid off the pot today to welcome a very special guest, Miss Rineta Phillips. Hi.
Hey.
Okay, she was kind enough to join us today and share a little bit about herself and her business. We have so much to talk about. We're going to talk about a lot of topics, but we're definitely going to get to know her and who she is and how she may be able to help you. Today's show is sponsored by New Renaissance, created to help young, positive brothers and sisters with the philosophy of having a renaissance or rebirth of actions and behaviors within everyday community life. You can find beautiful art and be inspired at newrenaissance.com. Now let's introduce today's guest. Rineta Phillips is an Atlanta, Georgia native who has ties to graphic design. She served in the Navy. She's been a mentor to most and finally runs her own business as a skincare and glamour consultant. She recently celebrated her 15-year anniversary and teaches techniques needed to properly care for your skin and apply makeup appropriately. She is wonderful. We are so happy to have you. Please tell us a little bit more about yourself.
Oh, wow. Thank you so much, Carmen, for that introduction. Oh, wow. So for myself, I am single, no kids. I am loving life. I thank God every day for my life and what he has brought me through. I had a rough upbringing, and the reason why I love mentoring women, I always tell people, they ask me, why do you love to mentor? How did you get into makeup? And I tell them I never even wore eyeliner or mascara before I got introduced into my business. I actually do Mary Kay Cosmetics, but I also specialize in mentoring young women and even older women as well. Just women that may have felt like that they don't have that confidence anymore. Mm-hmm. And so that's where I come in because I grew up really bad, and my mom doesn't mind me talking about it. My mom was on drugs when I was in school, so it was really hard for me. I grew up hard. I've been working since I was 14 years old. So that's where I get my hustle from, because I always had to hustle. And so I joined the military because of that. So that was a big deal to me. And thank God now my mom has been clean for 20 years. But during that time, as growing up, I had to grow up fast. And my dad was also an alcoholic, and because he battled with depression, he wasn't around, and it was a lot for me as a child, but it brought me to who I am today. And my biggest thing as a mentor is to mentor women and to say, you know what, it doesn't matter where you started, it matters who you become in the process, and not to hold on to your past, but allow your past to make you push for your future. So that's me.
You have an amazing story, and I can see how you would be a wonderful mentor. I know that you are also a survivor of domestic violence. So
yes, I am.
You definitely use that experience, I'm sure, to help mentor others. Tell me, how has your background in the Navy helped you become a better person in your business?
The Navy grew me up. I tell everybody, a lot of people come into the military for different reasons, but I came in thinking it was just to get to school for free. And then what I learned was the discipline of the military, that structures you. You'll never lose that. You'll never lose the fact of a team, because everything is a team in the military. You're a family. So when I look at other people, I don't look at them as just somebody else on your job. I look at them because we're a team, because in the military, you need the other person to survive, and so it taught me those life skills, and that helps me in my business, because I don't look at people with dollar signs. I look at them as, how can I bless them? Because that's how it was in the military. That's what we're taught, and I was on a ship in the Navy for a long time. So we were all we had, 300 and something people, and we slept in a room with about 50 women. They your girlfriends, you have to have that person to survive. And so that taught me how to love people more, because you have to not look at color or where they from or the differences that you might have. You have to look at, I got to save this person if I have to. I look at business different. You know, I appreciate business. I appreciate being able to be free and not having to be on their clock 24 hours a day too. You know, so so it's a difference, but it taught me how to manage my time and my money too.
Oh, that's good. I am glad that you talked about that family and those friends, because it brings to mind the topic, one of our topics for today, the young man Arton Little from Louisiana. He is the 16-year-old who was anxiously awaiting his acceptance into Harvard. And he decided that he wanted to share that moment with all of his classmates. He waited, they recorded it, and he got an early admission into Harvard. And you can see that love and that all of those people that were just rooting for him and just really there for him as he got that acceptance. And then what makes his story even more great is that his older brother just got accepted into Stanford last week. He wants to excel. He said that he plans on studying applied math and computer science. But the fact that he has those people behind him, when you mentioned that family that you have, has that family in school. So what do you think about that?
Oh, that is exciting to me, because the one thing a lot of times, whether you're in business or whether, like when I was in the military, sometimes when you get advanced, especially when people work on regular jobs, you know, like when you get advanced and the next person, and it's only that one position, everybody's fighting over that one position, you know. But for him, just the thought that his classmates were excited, and some of them might not even have that as an option for them, you know. But they were excited for him because that means there's something special about him too, you know, and who he is as a person. And he's probably been very humble this whole time, because had he been arrogant or probably, you know, putting it in their face that, hey, I'm 16, but I'm going to go to Harvard, they probably wouldn't even be excited for him. But that says a lot about who he is as a person and the people that he chooses to hang around too. Because that's the same way we were in the military. When I got advanced and ranked, and I mean, I was 24 and I was already E6, you know, and that's a top rank. You can retire at that level. And some people don't even get there, you know? And so that's the same thing. Like when you have that as who you are determines how people celebrate you too. So I'm so excited for him. I know their parents have to be like over the top right now.
Elated. I know if it was me, and I don't have any children, but I know if it was me and those were my children, I would be so excited.
Yes.
And one of the good things about that is this video went viral. We don't often see that. You'll see a fight video go viral. You'll see, you know, something that's just not positive, but to see something so positive go viral, I'm just really, really excited for this young man. I plan on watching him throughout his college career, and I just really wish him the best.
Yes, I do too.
You talk about personality, so let's talk about Omarosa.
Oh boy. Woo! How did I know that was coming?
Yeah. I snuck that one in, didn't I? So,
yeah, you did.
Omarosa, the news is that Omarosa has been fired. Now, she did say that she resigned. Originally, the reports were that she resigned and that her last day was going to be January 20th. And I remember that because that's my birthday.
Oh, boy.
So after she made her announcement, then it was reported that all of her security clearance was revoked, and she was removed from the White House, which led to some expletives being said, some nasty words being said, and then she had to be physically removed. Now, she said that she resigned, that she was not fired, and that did not happen. But there are several reports. Now, you know, we always hear about fake news, but I believe where there's smoke, there's fire.
Yes.
So, what do you think about that?
Well, two things. One, I personally know her new husband, Pastor Newman. I used to live in Jacksonville. That's where I was in the military and I became a member of his congregation, and he's a very dear, like a dad to me. So I know him personally. The one thing that I can say, I was a little shocked, but I wasn't. But I do feel this way too, that he's going to be there for his wife and be supportive of her. But at the same time, he's a total Democrat, you know, so I think he's probably glad it's over in a way. I probably would be if it were me, but I don't know. I haven't talked to him about it or looked at his Facebook page or anything to see, but I'm sure that he's probably glad that she's away from that toxicness that's going on there. You know, yeah. I would be if it were me, and if it was my, you know, if it was my man there, I would be like, oh my God, thank God. You know, if they had to push you out the door, I'm glad, because I'm glad it's over. The other thing too, they take your clearance. You didn't quit. They let you go. You know what I'm saying? I'm just gonna be real. Like, let me just be honest, because I was like, wait, they took her clearance, you know, because once I heard that, I was like, wait, that's a whole different ball game. Because, you know, when you leave in a, you know, in a good way, any kind of government or whatever, I mean, you leaving with, you know, they gonna have a little ceremony for you. They gonna be there for you. They gonna, you know, they make you sign a thing that everything you know that you can't tell because you have that type of clearance. So you have to sign off that it's certain things that I knew in the military I'll never be able to share with anybody, you know, without penalty. So for them to like have the escort there, that's like when you on your job and they like have your stuff in the box when you come to work and they like, bye, you know, that's not good, you know. And but at the same time, I think maybe both are true. Maybe she was like, I'm tired of this, I'm about to roll out, and then they was like, oh no, this how we gonna do it, because I don't put anything past 45 and his crew. I think they wanted to feel like they did it, you know, so they one upped her, which they can, you know. I'm not, you know, and I truly believe that's probably kind of how it went down. I mean, because I don't put anything past them at all.
I don't put anything past people, period. You know, you always have somebody who's going to do whatever that's in their best interest. So who's to say, you know, but it is something that's going on in the news right now. And then you think about, okay, she was in the White House, supposedly acting as a liaison for the African-American community. And I know that there have been several instances where she's not been wanted at other places because of her stance. And I saw an interview where she was talking about she and her husband have completely different political views. So they do. I can see that, you know, what you were saying, but we'll be watching that, and I wish her the best. I don't wish ill on anyone.
Me too.
So I do wish her the best. I hope that she finds some peace and some happiness in herself. They said that part of the reason that she said that she wanted to leave was because she wanted to pursue other things. She wanted to be with her husband. So hopefully this will give her this will help complete who she is as a person and help transform her into the woman that she strives to be. And I always wish for the best for people. Give me 2 skills that you think a person would need in order to be successful in running a business.
They need to be consistent, because consistency is key. If you're not consistent, like if you're only open on Monday and then you don't open again until like next Wednesday, or you know, you don't have any kind of consistency, then people tend not to trust you. You have to have some kind of consistency for yourself, because that's when it becomes routine. The other thing that I think people have to have, you have to have discipline. Discipline is the biggest thing, because without consistency and discipline, it's not going to work. Because discipline is, I don't feel like doing it, but I'm going to do it anyway, because I have to do it. Not you know what, I got a headache today, so I'm not going to do it. But I've seen people that'll go to work, but they won't work their own business too. You know, whether they sick or not, you go to work, you sick and you got a fever of 102, but you there, you know, like, but then when you get home, you like, I got this fever, so I'm not gonna make that call. I'm not gonna follow up with this person. I'm not gonna, you know, reach out. I'm not gonna log on my computer. I'm not gonna do anything to get me to another level. I'm not gonna do anything, you know, and then you expect the results, and you gotta either lower your expectations, or if you expect it, then you have to do what it takes to get what you expect. So I think those 2 things are very key in business.
Mm-hmm. And then to talk about discipline and to add on to that, discipline needs to be more than just making sure that you stick with what you're doing. You need to have discipline in your personal life too.
Mm-hmm.
So you need to make
Yes.
sure that
It's a
you
full circle.
exactly. So
Mm-hmm.
speaking of that, let's talk about Tavis Smiley.
Oh, Lord Jesus, help me.
So for everyone who doesn't know who Tavis Smiley is, I just want to give you a reminder. Tavis Smiley had his own talk show on Black Entertainment Television, known as BET. He now works for PBS and has recently been suspended from his show on PBS because of some sexual misconduct allegations. And that's that discipline that I'm talking about. So, what do you think about Tavis Smiley and what's going on with him? We know now. Did you see that he did have a video where he came out and he?
Yes.
Okay. So, what do you think about him and what's going on?
Okay. Well, the video that I saw, and I even heard it on the radio this morning, was that he said that the allegations are not true. And I'm like, wow. And this is how I feel about it. I feel like this. And I said this when I started seeing like the Weinstein, and then it started going from there, it started trickling down, and then everybody else started coming out. You know, it just started going from there, it started growing like wildfires. And I said, you know what? If anybody thinks or even thinks remotely that they've said or done anything out of the way, they might want to go ahead and step back before it even hit them, because it's about to hit because everybody about to come out. It's about to be like, okay, well, back in 1999, you did this, and that's what's happening. And it's because now, being a domestic violence survivor, I'll say this: I don't know whether he did anything or not, because I wasn't there. Mm-hmm. But what I do know is, as you said earlier, I don't put anything past anyone. But what I can say, if you know you did something, at some point you got to own it, because it's going to own you if you don't. The other thing is, I would hope that it's not true, because of all of the great things that he has done in the community and what he speaks about and what he talks about and how passionate he is, especially for the African American community. I hope it's not true. But if it is true, I think that people really need to own their past, whatever that is, and live with the consequences of their actions. And I think that a lot of times people have gotten away with it for so long that now they're like, oh, they either said it wasn't me or it wasn't a big deal. You know, it's either one of the two. Yeah. And neither one are good. Unless, and then you do have people that are opportunists as well. So that's the other flip to it, because you don't really know unless people have some kind of proof. And I'm just waiting, because I know, depending on what decade everything's happening, some people might have text messages in the video.
Okay, well, let me go a little further on the Tavis Smiley thing. So before all of these allegations came out with Weinstein, of course, you know, we had everything that was happening with Bill Cosby. Mm-hmm. But there was an article that was written by Jackie Hayagazi about Tavis Smiley and his misconduct.
Wow.
Yes. So having said that, and having had this article back months ago before the Weinstein and the Me Too era, it kind of puts it into a different perspective. And supposedly PBS has some evidence, which is why they suspended him, because they had some type of evidence that gave them that, you know, it basically gave room for pause, you know, so they had to take a step back and look and see, because they don't want to be involved, and they don't want
and PBS it's for the kids.
Exactly.
You know, if you are a kid-friendly show, you definitely don't want anything remotely close tied to you for that.
Right.
And I don't blame them. And you know what? When jobs start letting you go, especially when you have a good reputation and you're this and that, and then all of a sudden it's like cut curtains, it's usually something behind it. Like you said, like they may know some information that we might not be privy to. And then it might be something where they could have pending cases, because that happens too. You know, when something is pending, it doesn't necessarily make it out to the media yet. You know, we might not know, but it could be something where, and that's why I said, you know, if you know that you know that you guilty, go ahead and just go ahead and buy out before it even get there. Because I mean, why would you wait and be like, well, ooh, they ain't said my name yet. Woo, you know, no, like go ahead and be like, own it. Be like, you know what? I got some stuff going on with my family and my life. I'm gonna just go ahead and let this high profile job go, you know? And they be like, why? Oh, nothing. Just let me, because you know, like at this point, like you said with the Me Too, which is crazy because it's been going on in the military for years. With the whole Me Too thing, you got to know at some point your number gonna come up. And so I guess I'm disappointed in him as well as all these other people that is coming out. And I just feel like it's nowhere near over.
It's not. You know, my take on that is there are so many people who have gotten a pass for so long. This brings to mind the Roy Moore incident. Now, there were a lot of women white in the white community who I saw an interview where they were like, oh, well, we're not blaming him, we're not blaming them, we're blaming both of them, but they still voted because 65% of the white women or white woman population voted for him.
Yes, they did.
He still has not conceded, even though the margin is more than 1%. He still has not conceded, wants a recount. But again, where there is smoke, there's fire. So you have all of these allegations. I had to take a moment because there was a man who made the comment back in that time. People were getting married when they were 14 years old anyway, and their families and their parents were happy that they were getting with people.
I saw that.
And I was like,
yeah,
that does not.
I almost threw my phone.
Right. That doesn't excuse the fact that you're a pedophile.
Yes.
That doesn't excuse the fact that this person was 14 years old. That does not excuse the fact that it was unwanted. You know, that's misconduct. That's sexual misconduct. But we as women who, you know, we are victimized, we are scrutinized, we go through so much in that situation. It's hard. So the Me Too movement has really put a spotlight on it. It's been happening for years. Now we have a spotlight on it. We can thank social media for that. But now we have a spotlight on it. And now that I mentioned social media, that brings me to net neutrality.
Yes.
So if, for those who are not familiar, there was a vote on net neutrality. And the FCC, which is basically Republican-led, they had a vote and they basically voted against the net neutrality regulations that were in place. So they are removing those regulations. This is bad for us because it could lead to big businesses putting a restriction on us where we will have to start paying for certain services. Like if you want to watch video, then you need to pay $10 a month for this service, as opposed to now where the internet is free for all. So what do you think about that?
I think it's terrible. I think it's terrible because the only person that wins in that is big business, because they know that at this point right now, we are so used to being able to click on our phones, click on our computers, click on our smartwatches, click on everything we can, and we can see the news right then and there. We can watch, you know, if I'm missing a football game, I can go on there and click and I can see it. You know, I can go on anything and see anything. If there's some news, like you're telling me about this 16-year-old boy that did this amazing thing and he's going to Harvard. They might be like, well, in order to view this YouTube or even your podcast, now we have to pay a certain amount of money to have it there. Or if you go over a certain amount of viewers, now you got to pay this amount of money for it to be seen. You know, and that's terrible. That is absolutely terrible. And you know what? The only people that win is the people that are big, because they're the only ones who are going to make all the money while while the people that want to watch the news and get the news for free are not going to be able to anymore.
Yeah.
And to get the stuff out there, like the videos that are showing things that are bad, that are injustice, that are things that we need to see to know what's going on, that we get faster than we could any other way. So that's really disturbing. And that's why that whole vote in Alabama, you talked about it, that's why that was important.
It was.
And kudos to, the African American community, because we do make a difference. And we did.
Since we're talking about net neutrality and how it is important to us to be able to surf the web at will, how do you use the internet for your business? Is it your main source of generating sales, generating customers? How do you use it for your business?
Well, it's not my main source because I'm in the people business. So I believe in getting in front of the people, meeting people face to face, because a lot of people, even though they love the internet, that personal touch is what keeps people to stay with you versus them buying from you every now and then. Like, I'm one of those shoppers that I'm only going to go online shop for like the real big sales. If it's not, then you can forget it. I'm not doing that. I'd rather go in the store. I like to try my clothes on. I like to see the stuff. I like to pick it up and put it in my hand. And that's the kind of way I run my business, because I know a lot of people still want to touch it, feel it, but it is a very big benefit. Like for Black Friday, I was in my bed and I just kind of went on Facebook and was like, hey, I'm having a Black Friday sale. And then it was all of a sudden, like, people were texting me, emailing me, going on my website, boom, boom, boom. And then, I literally made $500 in my bed. And I was in my pajamas. And I'm like, yes, and it's like, and I didn't do anything but just send a thing on Facebook. So that's huge. If they say now that if you want to advertise your business on your own social media page, then we're going to charge you to do that. Or we're going to charge you, if somebody goes on your website, we're going to charge you extra than what you already pay for having your website, like certain things, that's going to be terrible. Or you got to have this ad in order, because I've been seeing that lately. I don't know about you, but even if you click on a Facebook post and it's some kind of video, it's like an ad in the middle of it now. And I'm like, what is going on? So maybe that was already the start of it. When when we started talking about it, I was like, wait a minute, something's going on different here. And but for me, social media is huge for business now, because
small
business, it is very big for small business, because you can reach more people at one time. Like we came out with new lipsticks this quarter, and I just like had a picture of all of them in the shade where they could see it on Caucasian skin and African American skin, and just put it online. And then I was just like, okay, which ones you like the best? That let me know which kind of order, because they told me what they wanted. And it was so simple than me sending out an individual message or sending them a book in the mail, because they may or may not read it. But when I posted it, it just went from there. Like 40 people in one day responded, So it's totally different. You can go on Instagram, now it's Snapchat, now it's this, now it's that. It's so many different ways that you can communicate to the masses of people, that when they're sitting in traffic or at the doctor's appointment, they scrolling, so you can make money because they just scrolling, versus having to wait on them to check their mail. And if they're like me, they might check the mailbox, but it's in a pile, So it's totally, it's a blessing to have the social media and to have the internet, because my business is generated where if somebody puts in my zip code and they're looking for the top salespeople, I come up in my area.
That's good.
And so I get hits from people that are just looking for somebody to be their consultant to buy products from.
So what do you sell the most? What's your biggest seller?
Oh wow, I would have to say the skincare products more than anything, surprisingly. But that's because I think women now are realizing, even though it's a big push on makeup right now, and everybody's wearing it and everybody's contouring and highlighting and doing all this extra stuff, the normal everyday woman, she just wants to look good when she doesn't have anything on, because a lot of times that they'll glam up for their friends or going out, but when they at home and when they're in front of they man and they kids, they just want to look normal. but they don't want to, they want to age gracefully at the same time. So skincare products is what I sell the most of. And then next to that, I would have to say the foundation or the mascara. Yeah.
So
As well.
what would you say for, because my skin, I have sensitive skin, and
Yes.
it is really sensitive, and it's to the point where I can use a product and I'll be fine with that product, and then I may go back a month later and I can't use it anymore, and it causes my skin to go red, and I just have, it's just too much. So what would you say for someone with that type of sensitive skin? What would be your suggestion?
I would tell them, for one, to monitor not just what they put on their face, but also what they put in their hair, because that also gets on their face. Also making sure that they're careful what they clean their face with a lot of times, because that affects it. What are they putting on it? If they're putting nothing on it, then they're not really protecting it. But the other thing that I tell them too is pay attention to what you're spraying in the air, what you're eating, and what you're drinking plays a very big part in your skin. But I do have a trick, and I'm gonna give you the trick. This is exciting. If you have sensitive skin, because I have sensitive skin, which is how I ended up starting my business, because I could not find anything that didn't make me break out, irritate, itch. Like I can't even use all that, smell good stuff all over my, that you can buy and it smell all good when you get out the shower. I can't do all that.
Right.
My skin's like, no, absolutely not. So if you put in the middle of where your elbow is, in the middle, like on the opposite side where you bend your arm, anything you put there is a very sensitive part. You can put it right there or right underneath your chin. You can put a little bit of something there. Leave it on there for maybe about 2 or 3 minutes. See what your skin does. If it itches and starts to burn, that's bad. And sometimes your skin is just reacting because of something new. It's like, hey, what are you? I'm not used to you. And then sometimes it goes away because it's just not used to something being there. But then sometimes you could tell the difference, because if you're starting to break out in rashes and hives and all this other stuff, then that's different.
Right.
That's when there's something. And I always tell people, I encourage people to do allergy tests too. Go find out. I found out I'm allergic to bleach. I'm allergic to, I still clean with bleach, but I'm allergic to it. Like, I mean, it's certain things that it's an allergy for me. Like I can't wear synthetic hair. I tried, I've done it, but I mean, it broke my whole entire face out, my skin, my neck, everything. Like my scalp was on fire. Like it's certain stuff you got to know, like you got to find out what's for you. And then, like I said, it's worth it to do an allergy test to me. And I think everybody should do it. So,
Yeah, I agree with you, because I actually have a friend who she did an allergy test because she was just so sick and she did not know what was wrong with her. Well, she was allergic to chicken.
Wow.
And when she stopped eating chicken, it made a world of a difference. Now, me personally, I drink a lot of water, a whole lot of water. Let me tell you my story about water, though. Water is not my friend right now.
Oh my God.
I broke my computer the other day.
Oh my God.
I had a cup of water, and I had a cup of water, and I had my phone on my charger, and my sister called me, and when I picked the phone up, the charger knocked the water over on my computer, and it shorted out my keyboard. So water is not my friend right now. I'm mad with water because I have a MacBook, so you already know what that's about, and so
yes.
I'm not a happy camper, but that's my go-to. I'll drink water before I drink anything else. I don't drink sweet stuff. I don't drink any sodas at all. I don't drink juices. So I understand what you mean when you say you have to be careful about what you put in your body, because you do. And then for my hair care products, it's usually something very natural, like shea butter or coconut oil or something like along those lines, because I cut all my hair off, so now
it's cute.
So I try to take really good care of my hair. I try to take really good care of my skin, and I try to be as natural as possible. Like right now, I'm doing a cleanse. I juice.
Okay.
And I know people say, well, you do smoothies. No, I actually juice. I have a juice.
I have a juicer too.
So I juice, and so I'm juicing in the morning, and then I make like you know, vegetable type dishes. Because I like vegetables. I kind of grew up on that. So I don't really eat bad either. I really try to be healthy. I go to the gym, I exercise, I work out. I used to do gym shenanigans, so I have to tell you about that one day.
Oh boy. I probably got some stories too.
Oh yeah, you see some of everything at the gym. Seriously.
Yes.
So
Yes.
I really do try to take care of my body, but I do have to wear makeup. You know, like now, especially with me having the short hair, I'll put on a little bit of makeup just to kind of give me a nice fresh glow or whatever. But if I don't have to, I won't. I did go and get some vitamin E oil, and I mixed it with sweet almond oil.
Okay.
So at night, or no, in the morning actually, I'll put a little bit on my face before I put anything else on, so that I can kind of give it some moisture and nourish it a little bit. But I don't want to do that too often because I don't want to clog my pores. So what do you think I should do in that instance?
Well, this is what I say. There's actually 5 basic steps to skincare, but most people only use 1 or 2 things, if anything. A cleanser is going to get the surface dirt. So everything that hits the air, like I always tell people, don't you know when you spray something in the air, if it gets on your hair and your clothes, it gets on your face. Like
Right.
It's always on your face. So that's surface. But then what clogs your pores is what gets that you don't see, you know, the stuff that gets underneath the surface of your skin, because your face is actually a living, breathing organ,
Right.
you know, and that's why when people actually get burned, they can lose their life over burns because of that, because it's an organ, you know, and so you have to take care of it just like you take care of the rest of your organs, right? So underneath the surface of your skin, you need a toner. You need something to, and I always say, please stay away from alcohol, anything with alcohol products in it, because alcohol actually burns your pores.
Yes.
So it makes them wider, and it doesn't help. It actually hurts your skin. So you want to have some kind of toner.
What about witch hazel? My sister uses witch hazel as a toner.
I'm not a big fan of it, but that's only because it burns my skin. So I have to be careful with that. But it just, I guess I always tell people, whatever floats your boat. You know, if it works for you and you haven't seen a problem with it, then that's good. You know, but for most people, when they try something else, then they're like, wait, I didn't know that it could feel this good, you know. And so I always tell people, at least be open to trying something just to see, because what you think might work might not be the best thing for you. I think witch hazel is kind of strong, but I guess it depends on the person. Okay. And what kind of skin they have. I know for me, my skin being sensitive, I can't use it. And then you also want to use some type of mask, at least once or twice a week. If your skin is pretty good and it's not rough, you know, I always tell people you can do the hug test when you hug somebody and you touch cheek to cheek. If you feel like it's sandpaper, they need to have some kind of mask on. They need to be masked because you get a new layer of skin on your body every day. And that's why they tell you to change your sheets so often, because your skin sheds, so does your face. You know, so you have to do that because you have to exfoliate your skin to get it down to a new layer. So once or twice a week of using a mask is going to keep your skin healthy. It's going to help it from wrinkling, you know. And a lot of people have that myth that black don't crack. It doesn't stay that young feeling because of lifestyle, you know. And the reason why it doesn't is because of not taking care of it properly. So when you mask and you're doing the mask at least once a week, once you get your skin conditioned to do something on a weekly basis, then it's like a well-oiled machine, just like working out. If you're working out at least 2 or 3 times a week, maybe 4 or 5, then your body is conditioned. Same thing with your skin, you know. And then after you mask, you also want to definitely be using some kind of moisturizer, because a lot of people think, oh, my skin is oily, I don't need moisturizer. And I'm like, that's actually the total opposite, because if you are oily, your skin is saying, I need moisture. So it goes in and grabs your oils and pulls it out on your face. So if you use, and I've told people plenty of times, trust me on it. I said, try it for a week and tell me the difference. And they're like, you know what, you were right. I'm not as oily as I used to be. And I'm like, well, that's because you weren't using something to moisturize your face. So moisturizer is different than lotion. A lot of people put on lotion and I'm like, No, lotion does not do anything for you. Not for your face. You don't want to use stuff that smell good. You know, all those fragrances and stuff. That's not good for your face. And that's why sometimes people break out, because they're using something that has a lot of fragrances and dyes in them. You don't want to use stuff like that, because that's not going to help your face. That's not healthy for your skin. That will clog your pores too. You know, so a moisturizer hydrates your skin because it needs hydration. That's why the water is important. That's why I always ask people, do you drink enough water? And they're like, I'm like, you got to drink water, because that helps as well. And a lot of people don't know, foundation is protection. It is not supposed to make you look like somebody else. And a lot of people get mad at me when I tell them that, but you are not supposed to look like somebody else. I know a lot of people gonna be mad at me, and I don't care, but I'm just gonna be real. Like, okay, the YouTube videos, I get it. It's cool. You wanna look like somebody else, but y'all, I'm telling y'all, I talk to a lot of guys. I was military. I talk to a lot of guys that I know. I got a lot of homeboys, and one of the things they tell me is, when they want to take a shower, they want her to look like the same woman they met when they met them in the club. Like, you know, like they don't want to meet you, and then when you take all your stuff on, they're like, who are you? Like, wait, like, you know, they don't want to. That is real. Like, stop tricking people. Like, if you got blemishes, use some stuff to clear your blemishes instead of like covering it up. Stop covering stuff that you don't like and fix it. You know, like, if you want to lose weight. Like, stop putting all this stuff on, and then when you take all your stuff off, like, it's not like they not gonna know. Like, at some point, people are gonna know. Like, that's not how you look. You know, and it take a lot of time. I'm like, I don't spend that much time on my makeup. Like, why? Why are you spending 2 hours to put your makeup on? Like, and I'm not knocking anybody that does it, but I'm just saying, you know, contouring and highlighting should be for when you taking photos because you getting ready to get married, or you getting ready to be on a photo shoot, and, you know, stuff like that. But on an average everyday woman, they got to get up, get her kids ready for school, and go to work, and they don't have that kind of time, like, to do that every day. But foundation really is protection. It is.
You see my skin, right? This is my color.
Yes, and it looks great. Look, me too. Like, I can't. And then, you know, we're lighter skin, so, you know, when you're fair skin, you got to really be careful, because you either gonna look like a ghost, or you're gonna be darker than what you are. You gotta, like, you know, you gotta be who you are. Like, if you know, if you dark skin, be dark skin. You know, like, it's okay.
And I think that's the issue that a lot of people have. It's like, you take this makeup off, and you're a completely different color. You're not just not that, because makeup, like you said, is protection, but it's supposed to enhance what you are.
Enhance you, so not make you look like a totally different being. You know, and I think that's why I have been successful in business, because I actually teach women that. An average everyday woman that doesn't even know how to put on eyeliner like I didn't before I started business. I'm like, how do you help that person that just says, you know what, I just want to learn how to wear my mascara right? Or can I just learn, if I am going out with my friends or my boo, how do I kind of spruce it up a little bit? I don't want to do all that other stuff. I just want to look a little bit where I go, hey, you know, but I don't want to be like, whoa, who are you? You know, like, you know, I mean, you know, it's a difference, you know, and I really think that most women want to look a little bit more enhanced. So when they go out, people go, oh, girl, I see you, you know, and that's what should be normal to me, I think, you know.
I agree. I agree with that. Okay. We just want to kind of switch gears a little bit.
Okay.
Because we talk about your skincare and taking care of your skin, and that is your business. So who has been an inspiration to you to help you get into the business? Because you seem very passionate about what you do. You know exactly what it takes to keep your skin fresh and beautiful. So who has been your biggest inspiration?
Oh, wow. I have to say that my leader in Mary Kay, it's funny. I tell people, she met me at the dollar store. I was in the dollar store, and I had long hair, was in a ponytail. I had just came off of a 6-month deployment in the Navy. And that's big for military people. Like, you just come back, I'm on leave, I'm chilling. And I just wanted to relax. And, you know, and I met her and they offered me a facial for free. And I was like, what? Like, like, one, I never had a facial. Two, I was like, free, if it's free, it's for me, And then I was like, you know what? They look good. Like, I don't know how to look like that. Like, help me. And they did. And she looked at life in a different way. Like, you can not just have beautiful skin, but you can also be an entrepreneur and a successful one. And I never saw that many women of color that were supporting each other and happy for somebody else like that.
Yes.
And that they were like, but we gonna help you be successful too. And I'm like, wait, what? Like, how they do that? And she holds me accountable. She doesn't allow me to quit on myself because she mentored me into being successful and won't allow me to quit on myself.
So this is a question that I ask everyone before we get into the end of our show. What does success look like to you?
Oh, wow. Success to me is how many people did I help become successful along the journey? Because it's not just about me. God is always, and I always say this, God is always going to bless me with money. Even when I was 14 years old and didn't know what I was doing, I have always been blessed with money. I've always been able to find food, shelter, and water. I've never been concerned about money because God will always bless me with that. But what gives me the success is seeing other people tell me, because of you, how you smiled, and because of what you said that day, or because of how you treated me like a human being and a person, or because of what you told me to go do and you said you believed in me, I did this, and I'm a better woman, I'm a better wife, I'm a better mother, I'm a better person, I'm a better business owner, I'm a better friend. That is success to me.
So let's go ahead and move into the next segment of the show. I appreciate you for being so candid and answering those questions. And I know that you've given us some really good information. So anyone listening, especially those who have sensitive skin, they now have some tips that they can take with us. And hopefully we'll have you back on the show. You can share more with us, and we would love to have you. So now we're at a segment where I dig inside the pot and I find something that's new, that's fresh, some new music. I love music. So I say this all the time. I love music. And I try to find something that people don't know is there and bring it to the light so that they can go look for it. So Day 26 is coming out with a new album, and they're dropping their single next month in January. And for those who don't know who Day 26 is, they are a group that was established by Puffy on TV. This was like years ago, when reality television was kind of budding before all the fights and all of that. They fought too, but it was different.
It wasn't like that. Yes.
But it was making the band. And this is the boy group that was created, Day 26. And so they have reconnected and they're coming out with a new album. So everybody be on the lookout for that. And that brings me to another thought, because Apple is considering buying Shazam. So, Shazam is the music app that you use when you're trying to figure out, like, if it's a song, you're like, So now Apple is considering buying Shazam, and they have put in a bid for $400 million.
Whew.
Can you imagine?
Wow.
Yeah, can you imagine coming up with an app and somebody paying you $400 million? That too, now that we go back to that net neutrality, how's that going to affect that? Because now you're going to think twice before you say who sings that song. Now you're going to be look up lyrics. look
on Google to help the lyrics come
up. Right. So at this point, I always ask, what is on your music playlist? So what are you listening to right now?
Wow. Okay. So for me, it's funny because my playlist on music is very broad. Like I'm all over the spectrum, because my friends tell me that I know songs that they don't even know. They're like, who is that? And I'm like, girl, that's Taylor Swift, girl. You don't know her. I'm like, but I'm going to tell you. So Katy Perry is like my girl. Like if I met her, Like I would be like, oh my God, like Katy Perry. But I love Rihanna. So she's always on my playlist. If I need something like get me like pumped up, she's got to be on the list. Like she's on my list. I'm an old school hip hop person. So anything old school 90s R&B and hip hop is big to me. I like the Kendrick Lamars, and I like people that have some substance to say. So anybody with the substance, they have my attention. I like what is that new? It's a new artist, but I cannot think of her name. But she has this song. What is the name of that song? See, now I need the Shazam right about now. What?
Shazam.
Yes, but I like that. I cannot think of. They play it like every day. But I like songs that are good love songs. Now Tank, his new CD is pretty hot. I'm liking Tank's new CD. He is a little nasty on there, but it's pretty cool.
Tank has been
nasty for a while.
Yes. Listen, okay, so I am a Tank fan, and I have pretty much all of his albums, like all of them. And I listen to some of his stuff, and I'm like, wait a minute.
Hold on, what you said?
I'm reminded, did he just say that? And I'm saying somebody else that I really, really love. I really, really love Luke James.
Yes, I like him too. And look, Bruno Mars, he is a performer. He reminds me of Michael Jackson, and and how he captivates the stage, and he is okay with being him. Right now in my CD is positive tapes. Like and I actually listen to books on tape and on CD, and listening to inspirational stuff like that. But other than that, it's more so something that's gonna get me pumped. I don't like nothing that's gonna make me sad. Everything gotta be, pumped up, or somebody that's talking about something that's either meaningful or love. I love it. But I don't mind if they a good country singer. I listen to them too. I don't care. I don't care.
Country singers, I have to be honest, country singers do have some really, really good lyrics.
They do.
They do. And because I'm a writer, that's what I look for. I look for lyrics. I'm a lyric person.
Me too.
And so I was watching an interview that K. Michelle did recently, and she wants to come out with a country album. She's already started working with some other country artists, and it was because of the lyrics. That was her thing, and she was saying how this is something that Black people really started, but there's never been a Black woman to top the country charts. There have been some Black men, but there haven't been.
Yes, they have. Yeah.
And so she was saying that, that's something that she wants to do. That's a goal for her. And so, when you think about business and you think about somebody setting goals and really going after it and putting their all into it, then that's something that she's doing, and that's something that we want to promote here at the Honey Pot.
I can't wait for that, because I will be supporting that, because they sing about the stuff that we going through, like, for real. Like, it's they really, and they'll say it like in such a sweet way. Like, they'll talk about like it's a difference between like how they'll say they'll bust the windows out your car, but they'll do it. Like, they'll say it, but they'll say it in a different way. You be like, wait a minute, what she just say? Did she just say? Like, did he just say that he found his girl with his best friend, and they was what? Wait a minute, let me play that again. Like, that was like, because they really do, like, but they do it in such a way, and the music and the lyrics, and then the real live instruments. Yes. I think that plays a part too, because I used to be in a band in high school too. That was so hearing that real sound, that I think that's what plays a part too. And they sing it from the heart with it,
And they're talking real stuff without it being vulgar.
Yes.
Without it being,
they're creative.
It's very creative, and that's what I love about it. And we've lost that.
Yes, I'm very disappointed in that. And I was hoping, even when I saw, Jay-Z drop his new album and stuff, And I was disappointed that young people were like, they didn't like it. But it's like, well, wait, but y'all listen to stuff and you be like, what? What did they say? Like,
Mm-hmm.
huh?
Well, you have to think about now the culture is the music that they're listening to is encouraging them to do drugs. It's encouraging,
It is.
and so it's encouraging them to be slackers. When you're young like that, you kind of tend to go with the flow.
Yes.
Because we had music in our day that our
Ooh,
parents were
honey.
like, what?
Yes, honey, because we was, yeah. I
And
remember going to house parties and
mm-hmm.
oh, honey.
Yeah. I mean, because I know we were like 12 play, R. Kelly, and so now it's like, all right, now I'm mad at R. Kelly right now because
I am too.
Really shown his behind, and but we're not gonna go there. But I'm just saying that music is different now, and so I'm with you. I love the old music. Thank you for sharing with us what's in your music list. I want to thank you so much for coming on the show. You've been a pleasure. I hope you've enjoyed this time with us.
I have.
If you have any last words, please share them now. And once again, please tell people how they can reach you. I'll also put this information in the description.
Okay. Well, my last words are that I always ask God whenever I'm in the midst of people, or even before I go meet people, is God, show me the people that you want me to bless and the people to bless me. And I can truly say, Carmen, that you have blessed me today. And I pray that somebody out there, we were able to bless them today as well. And if anyone need some encouragement, even somebody to pray for them, with them, send them a prayer on text message. That's one of my things that I do. Then they can definitely reach out to me because God has brought me through so many things, that different things in my life, that I'm grateful, but I'm also humble and I'm willing to share, because I'm not a victim. I'm victorious, and I want other people to get to that place. And if that's where you are and you want to know how to get there, reach out to me. I don't mind helping you get through it. And it does take work, and it's okay to sit on somebody's couch. And I want you to know, if you need help or you need somebody to give you that extra push, or you need a prayer or a hug or a smile or a laugh, hit me up. My name is Rineta Phillips. It's Rineta, and then Phillips with 2 L's. You can find me on Facebook by my name. You can also find me on Instagram. My Instagram is Rineta is MK Lady, because that's who I am. That's also my Snapchat, which I just started doing Snapchat. So I'm trying to figure out how that even works. So I got my little young nieces helping me with that one. But you guys can also hit me up on email as well. My email address is my first name, Rineta, the letter D, the number 4, the letter U, @gmail.com. Thank you so much for taking out your time tonight to be with us. And I pray that you have been blessed.
Thank you. So I'll end our discussion with my Carmenism for today. And that's, if you don't take care of yourself, then don't expect anyone else to do it for you. We've given you all some wonderful tips today about taking care of yourself externally, internally, and then also just mentally. You've heard wonderful tips on being successful in business, what you can do, what you should do. So we really appreciate having you guys listen in today. Thank you for taking the time to join the Honey Pot Podcast. I'm your host, Carmen Hendricks. Be sure to subscribe to the podcast and like us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at the handle @honeypot podcast. You can find me at carmenhendricks.com. That does it for today's podcast. I'm putting the lid back on the pot. Until next time, goodbye.